the events of the last year with the revival of inflation post-pandemic, as well as this shift towards monetary tightening from the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, and other central banks around the world, has removed this safety blanket of cheap money on which growth has been predicated for so long. There was a huge loss of trust within the financial sector around the 2008 financial crisis, and that's taken a long time to rebuild. We've seen that regulations have really been ramped up in the period after the catastrophe with the collapse of Lehman and Northern Rock, and of course the global recession that ensued. So there are much stricter capital controls in place now, and much tighter rules around the banking system. But there's no doubt that there are echoes of what we saw back then, and the risk of collapse of a major institution certainly reminds us of the pain back in 2008. I think what we've learned over the past week is the importance of confidence when it comes to the banking sector, because a bank cannot run when all clients want to remove their deposits at the same time, however strong they are. We saw that with SVB Bank, and that prompted a run on the bank. And I think that the risk of a run is still there when confidence is removed. So I think that over the next weeks, banks will really try to reinforce the strength, their underlying strength, and provide confidence to the markets about their financial positions, so that we don't see a mass exodus in terms of clients, which can then spark contagion, not just within the sector, but across financial markets.
I think in the case of Credit Suisse, it has sacrificed a lot of trust through its material, through those risk control weaknesses that the financial market spotted well before the auditors did, or the share price did. Silicon Valley Bank, you can argue, was operating in a very, very risky part of the market in a very concentrated way. And again, when people trusted it, it all looked fantastic. But when the first cracks appeared, there was a big rush for the exit. So yes, trust is absolutely vital. I think a lot of it was lost in 2007 to 9. And I think that raw race memory still exists. And it's why it doesn't take an awful lot right now to frighten people, even if on the face of it, the banks are far more well capitalized, certainly in Europe and the UK and the majority of the US, than they were 15 years ago.